I wrote this song with another friend of mine. His name's Adam Motor. He's an amazing producer out of Texas. We kind of started writing this song actually before the pandemic even. It just really speaks to trying to stay positive after, life kind of gets you down, whether it's love or, your job or anything really, because life is not easy. This is called Stars. I've cried at a whisper, I've bled from a shout, I've fallen in love more times than I have fallen out. Wounds will always heal, the sun will always set, and the ache of a teardrop should wash away all regrets. So I'll look at an evening, not dwell on the pain, because love is not the darkness, it's the stars that remain. I've grasped at a dream, I've tripped on a cloud, I've followed love's compass just to be let down. Cracks will always seal, the moon will always rise, and the calm of a midnight sky will slake the bloodshot from my eyes. So I'll look at an evening, not dwell on the pain, because love is not the darkness, it's the stars that remain. I would sing like lullabies to my little brothers. They're quite a bit younger than me, 10 and 7 years. And so I remember doing that. And then one very particular memory, my grandmother and grandfather, basically, by common law grandfather, drove me around and listened to me sing The Heart Will Go On in the back seat for like hours. Because I sang it to him the first time and they said, that was really good. Do it again. And I think they drove around encouraging me to sing this song for hours. And anyway, that's a pretty funny memory. Growing up in Montana played a role in my writing because I love to hike, I love to be in nature. I grew up in a hunting family, so a lot of that stuff incorporated itself into my songs. And I like to think it keeps me kind of grounded, but, that's for other people to say. My mom to say. Well, I think that it's kind of funny. I felt like starting out in it was a little more dog eat dog. And now I feel like everybody's helping each other out a lot, which I really love. And everybody's trying to lift each other up. And it's cool to, yesterday I played a gig at Stacy's and a friend came to the show and ended up singing with me. And we've known each other for 10 years because our bands used to play open mic at the Eagles Club. So at, you know, her band was called Holocene and mine was called Drink Me Pretty. And, oops, sorry. And then that'll happen with other, you know, songwriters or musicians around the area. Like, oh, you remember when we met 10 years ago at this open mic, and now you're doing this and I'm doing that. And so it's really cool. There's a lot of camaraderie and building each other up. And during the pandemic, we had a lot of songwriting circles too. So that was cool to, work together on that and kind of hold each other accountable. I would say what keeps me going is the idea of leaving, you know, it's a few things, like leaving a footprint behind your artwork. You know, you're leaving something because we're all, you know, bound for glory. The other thing is, you know, the community. You get to see, you know, different friends in all different areas. Like I go to Ennis and it's a whole party, you know, with a bunch of people there. I had a residency there for a couple of years, and so got to know quite a few people. And then you skip over to Paradise Valley, and it's a whole nother group of people, and everybody's just really supportive, and having that is huge, because sometimes it is hard to keep going. Thank you to everybody who keeps, you know, coming to shows, listening to my music, and encouraging me to keep going. That's a big piece of it, I would say. All right, so Crooked Nail is actually a poem that one of my best friends, Jennifer Schmidt, wrote. We met in Ennis, Montana, and started writing songs about 5 or 6 years ago. And anyway, this poem that she wrote really resonated with me, and so I put music to it. I hang my hat on that same crooked nail on the days when I'm strong and the days when I fail. Oh, the nail cleaves the wood on an old Montana wall. In the shadows come April, in the sunshine come fall. That wall holds a cabin in its place by a stream where the trout rise for caddis and the water runs clean. Oh, the mountain stream flows down how many hundreds of years, carries oldest of secrets where there's no one to hear. Mountain touches sky where the blue starts to fade, where the moon rises full, where I hang my heartache. Oh, the sky holds the wind between the east and the west, and the wind holds a hawk in circles over my head. Fly. The hawk's shadow falls on my brim and my crown, the sun on my shoulders, golden on the ground. Well, I turn around for home as the light begins to fail. I close the door and hang my hat on that same crooked nail. I close the door and hang my hat on that same crooked nail. Red Ants Pants is phenomenal and has come such a long way. And I was actually just running some sound at an event about a week ago or last Sunday, and there were a bunch of Red Ants Pants posters on the wall. And there was one from 2012 that had, I mean, it's just phenomenal who she's brought in. Like, all the names, there were posters from 2011 on. And, Justin Townes Earl, that's what I was going to say, which was like, oh, you know, just considering everything. So I think it's a huge, and beautiful contribution to Montana. And I'm pretty excited to be a part of it. I grew up, with 100.7 XL Country. And so I listened to a lot of the mainstream 90s country music. And then I found my mom had a dresser with a bunch of CDs in it. And I found like Mary Chapin Carpenter and Patti Loveless. And then when I went to college, a girlfriend introduced me to Reckless Kelly and Mickey and the Motorcars. I don't know if you're fans of them or know them, but the Braun family, they grew up in Idaho, in the hills of the White Cloud Mountains, and no running water, no electricity, and they used to tour the country in matching cowboy outfits with their dad and their mother, and they sang on the Johnny Cash show. You got to look this up. It's Muzzy Braun and family. But I went to a music festival that she brought me to. It's called Braun Brothers Reunion. And so then they brought, a bunch of Texas bands. So that's how I learned about, Cody Canada and The Departed. And, a lot of bands in that vein. Jamie Lynn Wilson, Courtney Patton, Jason Eady. So that was a big influence on me for a while. Working at Live from the Divide, we'd get all national touring acts from Nashville, Austin, LA, New York. And so that was a big breadth of artistry that I was glad I got to experience. And listening to the older stuff as well, I really got into Emmylou Harris, Linda Ronstadt. Recently, Patsy Cline's been an absolute favorite. This song is called Old Fashioned, and a friend of mine, Robert Henry, suggested the idea for it. It was kind of, how in today's day and age, the old-fashioned love is kind of lost, and how it would be interesting to talk about everything you wouldn't do on a first date because and how a love could work out because you're old-fashioned. And anyway, I loved the idea, and I ran with it. And this is the latest single, and you can find a music video on YouTube. It's actually Super 8 film. It's funny, my mom was digitizing this film from my grandparents and my great-grandparents, and from the 60s and 70s. And so I asked if I could put it in as a music video for this, and kind of all came together. First day we met, lit a cigarette, kissed under a bluebird sky in Canby. That afternoon we took it home, slipped off our clothes, tangled up our bodies. Knew then we'd found the soul our hearts had been burning for entirely. Though that's not how it happened, we're old-fashioned. Following evening we were reeling, kept on stealing newfound romance. No concern for wasted time, reading one another's minds by a simple glance. That four-letter word, despite the birds we whispered, given every chance. Though that's not how it happened, we're old-fashioned. full of unordinary fun. We were singing in the sun, we were flying, soaring dangerously high, playing in twilight's fire. We were trying to make our days last, past forbidden lust, bound for dying. Though that's not how it happened, we're old-fashioned. Though that's not how it happened, we're old-fashioned. 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 Old-fashioned.